This week on Tips and Tricks, 5 tips for Dead by Daylight.
We'll talk gaming on Windows 10.
And we'll interview a Mixer streamer that lives in a pond. What?
All this and more on this week's episode of Tips and Tricks.
It's weird. Oh, I forgot to do my Mixer.
Okay.
I am Carl Rodela.
And I'm Malik Prince.
This is the show that helps you get the most out of your Xbox, Windows, and Mixer experience.
That's right. We'll give you the tips on the latest features and tricks on tackling all the newest game releases.
He has someone who's doing a cord. No, it's fine. It's a live show. There's someone that was putting cords on his back, and it's funny.
All right, yeah. We're going to be giving you the tips and tricks on all the... Okay, let's start over. That's right. We'll give you tips on the latest features and tricks on tackling the newest games.
Yes.
We're kicking things off this week with a brand spanking new poll.
Yes, we are.
The poll is, what top 5 games... What top 5 lists should we do next time?
See, we do top 5 lists on the show. So we're like, which one should we do next time?
So we have a few choices.
Here's the choices. Top 5 games with dogs.
Top 5 simulators.
That's Scott's. Top 5 simulators. Top 5 game villains.
And top 5 scary games.
So which one should we do next show? Which, remember, it's not next week.
It's not next week.
We're off next week.
It's a holiday.
So do that poll now. And when we wait for the results, let's start off this show by introducing you to your July games with gold.
Awesome. All right.
I shouted that. Starting July 1st, Gold subscribers can download the zany plant climbing game, Grow Up, and on the 16th, the speedrunning party game, Runbow. But I want to back up here.
Yeah.
Grow Up is a very good game.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's so weird. You climb these huge, like, plant things.
Yeah.
And you don't want to fall. And you're like, it's like a physics-based climber, and you feel like you could fall in any minute, and that sense of height is crazy.
I saw a video of it. It looks really trippy. It looks cool.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on that one.
That's
really
cool.
Good.
So on the Xbox 360 and Back and Pat side, we have Kane and Lynch 2, which is coming July 1st, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean on July 16th. So remember, every Xbox 360 that is games with gold is Back and Pat on Xbox One.
That's very awesome. And an answer to our poll.
Top 5 scary games.
Top 5 scary games. I'd like that.
So we're going to be doing that next July 11th.
Show.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
so
exciting.
Thank you very much, chat. And we're watching you here. Interactivity. It's happening here.
There you go.
Also, don't forget to download Dragon Age Origins. It's available through Games with Gold through the 30th.
Yeah.
And that game is one of my favorite RPGs ever. Do you like RPGs?
I love RPGs. They're great.
Yes.
They're super long games. You get to track the story over long periods of time.
I love it.
Funny story is when I was a kid, my dad would only let me play games for 2 hours a week. So,
whoa, that's harsh.
I know. We talked about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic last week.
Yep.
So it's a very long game. So every week I would have to write down in my book exactly what happened. So before I started playing the next week, I would read it.
That's adorable.
Or weird.
Adorable.
I don't know.
Do we have a sound for that?
That's a weird
It's
story.
weird and funny.
I wish I had that book. I'd bring it in.
Oh, yeah. There you go. For Malik's pain from childhood. Hey, Malik, have you ever heard of the spider entity that feeds on human souls?
Actually, yeah. It stole my soul, and I haven't been the same since. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have been acting kind of differently.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
I guess so. Yeah. Knowing's half the battle.
It is.
Anyway, speaking of spider entities and human souls, let's take a look at these 5 tips for Dead by Daylight.
Let's take a look.
These are 5 tips for Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is a team-based survival horror game from Behavior Interactive. In this game, you get to choose your role. Do you want to evade a murdering psychopath while repairing generators to escape? Or do you want to unleash your inner killer to hunt down friends and strangers and sacrifice them to the creature of the sky? You can do both. Your choice. I won't judge you. Either way, we've got some killer tips for you. Tip number 1, know your killer. Dead by Daylight gives many choices when it comes to the killer you want to be, each with their own special abilities, which changes the game drastically. And if you're a killer, you want to choose which ability will best help you prepare the sacrifices. The Trapper can place traps around, meaning the survivors need to watch their step when it comes to rescuing your friends from hooks. The Hag has a voodoo skill, which she can place that pops up a copy of her when a survivor comes close to it, alerting her and allowing her to take control of the copy if she wishes. The Hillbilly has a charge attack, in which he lunges at the survivor with his chainsaw. If he makes contact, the survivor is immediately downed instead of the normal 2 hits. The Wraith, my personal favorite, can go invisible. While he is invisible, the survivors cannot hear his heartbeat. It's a great way to sneak up on people. However, the Wraith can't attack when invisible. The Nurse has a blink ability, where she's able to warp a few feet in front of her. That's helpful, as it allows you to warp through walls and barriers. Last is the Doctor. The Doctor can shock survivors that are nearby, making them go insane. They'll begin screaming, seeing fake killers, making skill checks they don't even need to do, and if they reach Tier 3, they'll be unable to repair generators or even heal others. That doctor's mean. Tip number 2, perks of surviving. Each character has their own teachable perks. As you play through Dead by Daylight, depending on how well you do, you earn these things called blood points. These can be used to advance your character even further in their blood web, which could provide more items, new perks, and even offerings. Perks and item add-ons can also be obtained while leveling up. These can do various things to improve your odds of living. You don't have to spend the blood points on the character you've been playing, though. Blood points are a global bank, which can be applied to any survivor or killer you wish. Tip number 3, the hatch. When surviving, your goal is always to make it out as a team. However, fairly often actually, it doesn't go as planned. Teammates make mistakes, people die, you know how it goes. Luckily, Dead by Daylight has 2 ways to escape. Be sure to be on the lookout for the hatch. It's easy to miss, but it's basically a trapdoor on the ground. Each game, the trapdoor randomizes the spawn point in one of the 4 locations. If you spot it, make a mental note of where it is in case worse comes to worse. You know, Murphy's Law and all. The hatch opens if 2 conditions are met. There's only 1 survivor left alive, and at least 2 generators have been powered. So if you're one of the 2 survivors left and someone gets grabbed, you can make your way towards the hatch. Once they fall into their deep slumber, you can wish them good night and jump into the now open trapdoor and escape. Ignore what they said as they saw you running the other direction. They didn't mean it. So cherish the good memories you had together. They were only mad because they were just impaled with a rusty hook, and deep down, they wanted you to live. What a good friend. Tip 4, ears and eyes. Dead by Daylight is best played with headphones, as there are many things that can alert you to a survivor's location. Around each map, there are a murder of crows placed around. When a survivor or killer gets close to them, they will caw and fly off. If the killer has a good set of ears, they can easily find where the crows are flying from and track down the survivors. Knowing the sounds around can help you find those pesky trespassers. These audio cues become even more prominent if you're playing the doctor and causing people to go insane. Keeping an eye out is also helpful. Every time a survivor messes up a skill check, the killer is notified right away. That happened to me all the time. If a survivor is running, they'll leave red scratch marks on their surroundings as they pass by, which can be a good breadcrumb trail for the killer to follow. Tip 5, ensuring the kill. Finding the survivor is only half the journey. The killers are only slightly faster than the survivors, so a chase is probably required. Be careful though, survivors can use the environment to evade you easily, hopping over barriers, blocking the path, and even stunning the killer with pallets. Staying one step ahead is the best approach. Trying to predict where the survivor is evading to can allow you that opening to strike. Dead by Daylight is a fantastic game to play with friends. Go ahead and let out some of your personal frustrations and let your friends have a greater purpose in life by becoming sacrifices. Dead by Daylight also features matchmaking, so even if your friends aren't around, you can still play with strangers. Who doesn't like sacrificing a few strangers? I mean, you don't feel bad about killing strangers, do you? Is that weird? Yeah, spiders are creepy.
They are. I actually found one on my bed last night. Couldn't sleep.
What?
Terrifying.
They're not that bad. You just put them outside.
Well, no, it's still terrifying.
And now it's time for the top 5.
Yeah,
this is a effect now.
Yeah, this is a weekly segment where we cover the top 5 Xbox games, starting with the top 5 paid games.
Paid games. Choo-choo-choo. I keep doing sound effects. There's something. Look, a graphics happening. Whoa, we have graphics now.
Oh my God, our budget stepped up.
It did. Top 5. Number 5 is Forza Horizon 3, a very good game. I can play this for hours on end.
It did drop 2 spots though, from number 3 to number 5.
It still is good.
It's still a great game.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Minecraft for Xbox One staying strong. Was number 4 last week? It's number 4 this week.
Oh yeah, I'm not reading the top one. There's jokes in here, I think, right?
They're jokes.
Grand Theft Auto 5 dropping back a spot to number 3. It said say it with that voice.
Oh, okay. That was a joke. Gotcha.
No.
All right. In at number 2 is Dead by Daylight, the game we just saw.
Yep.
Special edition.
And number 1 for the 3rd week in a row, since we've been keeping track, it's Friday the 13th, the game. People really seem to be digging these murderous horror games lately.
They do. It's some kind of sick,
That's
thing.
all on the top.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on to the top 5 most played games. In at number 5 is Rainbow Six Siege.
Choo-choo-choom-choom, you beat the graphics.
Yeah, I sure did.
Minecraft holding steady at number 4 spot on this list too.
Yep.
That's words.
Then we have number 3, which is Call of Duty Black Ops, which drops back to number 3 while NBA 2K17 jumps up to the number 2 spot.
Boom. That is still fun to play. I can play that for hours.
Yeah.
Dunking on fools.
Yeah.
That's
Dunking
what I
on
do.
fools. Yeah. I like
and once
that.
again, Grand Theft Auto 5 takes our number 1 spot in this week's most played games. Horn sounds. Pew, pew, pew. No?
Not working.
I think I'm just going to keep asking for sounds and none of them are going to happen.
It's okay.
Oh, wait. Can we come back to us? We have a bit. Can we come back to us before we do the graphics? Yeah, live show.
Hey.
So, and now the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for. Our very own top 5 this week, games that make us cry. And Malik, are you ready for this?
Come on. Carlos, I'm always ready. I'm always ready. Come on.
Wait. Go back to us. There's still a bit. Oh. Okay, fine. Number 5, Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
The game that literally starts with your grandpa dying. That is
really sad. Yeah, for sure. Number 4 spot goes to The Walking Dead.
Oh, man. Some people die, and you really care about them.
Yeah.
Gets me right here. Number 3 spot is that Dragon Cancer. No jokes.
Yeah.
That is just a serious game, an awesome game. I'm so glad it exists.
Yeah.
Super tough.
Great game about a dad whose toddler has cancer, and it's like the journey of how he goes through it and deals with it. Yeah.
It's so cool that that's an experience you can have, so that's really good.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a tearjerker, Life is Strange. Oh, to be in high school again.
Can I just say
what
something?
The teleprompter says.
One of my favorite games of all time, Life is Strange. It's so good.
It is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'd want to go back.
Did you tear up a little?
School. I did. I definitely did.
And you want to go back to high school?
I want to go
And
back.
the number 1 game that makes us weep like tiny children is Ori and the Blind Forest.
That opening.
That's what we went with?
Yeah, that opening scene is pretty sad.
It is really sad.
Yeah.
It's right from the beginning. You're like, oh, no, I feel bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think you feel sad enough, and so I want to do my
do
bit
feel
that I
sad.
wanted to
Okay.
do. So let's
pretend like this is.
let's pretend like we did it. So
All right.
You ready to get into character about being sad?
Let's redo this.
What we just saw?
I'm ready to be. Yeah, of course I'm ready.
Cool. Now you have tears.
Now I'm crying.
See?
That was gonna be the bit that we were gonna do.
The bit's all off, but there's
Yeah.
a cowbell for some
And now my
reason.
shirt's wet.
You know, Malik, that's a lot of information we just digested. I wish there was one place to put all of it.
You know, there's actually OneDrive.
Oh, you literally filmed that segment last week.
I did. Let's check it out.
You're crying.
Oh. All right, we are here with Ryan and Dave, and we're going to talk about some OneDrive. How's it going, guys?
Going great.
Awesome. So let's start off with what you all do here at Xbox.
Sure. I'm the group program manager for OneDrive mobile applications, including our app on Xbox.
Awesome. Dave?
I'm a developer, and I work on the OneDrive app that we're going to show you today.
Nice. I'm excited to see this. So can you tell us what OneDrive exactly is?
Sure. OneDrive is Microsoft's cloud storage service. It's the one place for you to store everything in your life and have it be accessible on all the devices you might use. Also makes it really easy to share your content with other people.
Oh, I love that. All right, so let's find it on the console. So if you want to open OneDrive, where do we go?
Okay, so if you've never installed OneDrive on any of your other devices, you'd have to go into My Games and Apps, and it should be under Ready to Install. In this case, I've already installed it, so I can just bring it up on the dashboard. It's under, for me, it'd be recent,
There we go.
and there it is.
And boom.
I also have a great feature turned on my mobile phone called Camera Upload. So every photo that I take on my phone automatically gets uploaded to OneDrive. So it's super easy for me to do things like this, to be able to see all those photos I captured on my mobile device on a big screen.
Beautiful. Yeah, if you have family over, you don't want to huddle around a phone screen or a computer screen. You want to put it on the big TV.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So you can see we've got a really nice full screen view. You can iterate through the photos. We've got various commands at the top where you can go in and share something or see more details on it. This supports videos as well, so not just photos, but we've got a really delightful experience that we've built around your media that you've got in the cloud.
Oh, I love that. All right, so we have this all from the Xbox, but OneDrive actually integrates into Xbox a lot deeper into the OS for game DVR, right? Can we show what that looks like?
Sure, so say you're playing your favorite game, Forza Horizon 3,
One of my favorites. And you have a shirt for it. Perfect.
driving along.
Driving
A
along.
little out of control, Dave.
It's a little out of
It's a
control. It's okay.
normal-
It's a Lamborghini, so it's hard to control. I imagine. I've never driven one.
All right, so you can go into your game DVR and start recording.
Show the beautiful vistas of Australia. What do you think one of these cars cost?
I don't want to know.
I think over
painful to-
over 100,000 is a safe bet.
Painful to think about it, right?
Okay, and then can stop your recording. And then I'll also let you know that you've recorded a clip.
Beautiful. It's going to pop up, and there you go. Game clip recorded.
So first it'll upload to Xbox Live, but then if you also wanted to have it in your OneDrive, you could right here just select upload to OneDrive.
And then it'll upload. And then it's in the cloud for all your friends to view it. If you have your phone and you want your friends to check out this sick clip that you recorded in Forza, just pull out your phone. Since it's uploaded to OneDrive, it's there.
Yep, it'll be on all your other OneDrive devices, ready to go.
I
And
love that.
And this is a great way to share clips to your family members and friends that maybe don't have an Xbox.
Right. We talked about games and we talked about pictures and videos, but there's a bit more that this app can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a OneDrive app on Xbox for a while, but with the recent update we did earlier this year, we actually brought our full-blown app experience that you have on all Windows devices to Xbox. And so, if you navigate into the files view right here, you can see I've got my full folder and file-based view of my OneDrive, and you can see there's some Office documents. I have an Excel document, Word. Let's take a look at that PowerPoint presentation right here.
Ooh, PowerPoints, bring me back to college.
Oh, yeah. So with this, I'm able to quickly launch any Office file right in my Xbox. So I can have a full screen, edge-to-edge view of the slides. I can iterate through the slides here and have a really nice immersive experience.
Awesome. So we have work and play all in OneDrive on Xbox One.
And we're making it happen.
I love that. So now, as we always mention, feedback is huge at Microsoft and Xbox. So if gamers or just users in general want to leave feedback on the OneDrive app, how can they do that?
Yep, there's two ways. We have an ability to add feedback right inside the app experience directly, as well as going to onedrive.uservoice.com.
Awesome. And we're seeing this feedback loop directly from the app. Just go in there, say you want to suggest an idea, and fill it out. I love that.
Yep, this gets right to the product team, and we take this feedback seriously and inform our roadmap and the new features we bring to customers.
That's what I love to hear. Well, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you, Ryan and Dave, for joining us.
Thank you.
And back to you, studio.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, so we just noticed that we were raided by the pond.
The pond.
So welcome all those viewers.
Sent from a special guest that we might have on later on.
There you go.
Michelle.
Now we're just going to overuse that. Now we'd like to bring out our guest, Peter Arulian, to talk Windows 10 game mode.
All
Peter
right.
Arulian. Woo. 10.
Peter,
How are you,
good to
man?
meet you. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
joining us.
Thank you for being here. So, Malik.
So, Peter, we like to start all our interviews like this. What do you do here at Microsoft?
I am sort of the lead product manager for gaming on Windows. So the things that we build right into Windows Shell, the way that we think about app experiences to deliver, easier access to games, etc., on Windows itself.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, before we get started with the thing and the game mode, I know that you went to the PC Gaming show
I did.
that I was at too, Expo E3. I was there. The venue was amazing. What were your thoughts about that whole thing?
Well, it's its third year. It's for those of us who care passionately about PC gaming. It's great to see sort of a dual track with E3 that really concentrates on PC. Each year it gets a little bit better. We were actually a sponsor this year. Microsoft was. And there was some great announcements. If folks were paying attention, Microsoft actually announced some specific franchises that are PC only.
Oh yeah, Age of
Nice.
Empires was there. Definitive Edition, amazing.
Well, and the other thing is that we talked about some of how the studios are making investments to build PC games from the ground up for Windows. They're not just ports. And a lot of the criticism has been precisely that. But so we made a lot of real PC gaming news, which was great.
Oh,
I love it.
that.
And I love having a PC-centric type of thing at a huge show that, lots of times talk about consoles. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
exactly right.
Well, let's talk about game mode today, Windows 10 game mode. What is it? You're going to show us on this computer here.
I am. So game mode, first to give just a context on what game mode does. Game mode is valuable when your system is in what we call resource contention, which is a really fancy way of saying whatever PC you're working on or playing on is doing a lot. It could be you've got an entry-level gaming system and there's just a lot of bloatware there that happens. You could have a really high-end gaming rig and you could be a multitasker who's doing broadcasting and game DVR and running 4K. But what the point is when your PC's working really hard, game mode can acknowledge that and say, I'm going to step in and prioritize the system resources, the GPU and CPU,
Oh, that's
to
cool.
make sure that your gaming experience doesn't suffer, that your frame rate remains high and consistent.
So it's looking at the whole environment that you have on your PC, and it's deciding things for you.
Yeah, and to get really, for those who care and know, your CPU may have multiple cores. And what it will do is, in this instance, is it'll look at the core setup and it'll say, I'm going to allocate some of those to all your background tasks, things that you don't care about right now because you're gaming. And I'm going to take most of those cores and I'm going to focus them on the game so that your frame rates are great.
Cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want a smooth, slippery game rate. Well,
That's
maybe
right.
not slippery, but
I've never heard slippery before.
Yeah,
that's an
that's a
interesting
new
adjective.
thing. Hashtag slippery.
Thanks for sharing that one.
Thank you.
All right, let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
So here's how you get into game mode. If you go into Windows settings, the first thing you'll notice is there's actually now a gaming section, which is really cool because we are beginning to aggregate areas where gamers, PC gamers, have had to go in disparate parts of the experience to one place. So user level settings, system level settings, all now here under gaming. You can see we've also represented that with the Xbox brand because Xbox is how we talk about gaming from Microsoft. So now if I go into gaming, what I notice I have 4 options: game bar, game DVR, broadcasting, and game mode. You guys, of course, are very familiar with broadcasting. The settings are here. They used to be in the game bar. But game mode, for our conversation today, if I go into game mode, I have the option to turn this on or off. By default, it's on. We think it's great, and we'll talk more about that. But because we always want to give PC gamers choice, we allow them to turn it off. Why would you ever turn it off? Maybe if you've decided I'm going to do some video rendering at the same time I'm gaming, you want the prioritization to be on the rendering so that you don't get any strange glitches when you're doing a codec change. So in that case, you might turn game mode off and say, maybe the game will stutter. But 99% of the time, your focus is going to be at gaming.
Right.
So you're going to have this on.
As long as you're not video editing, then you're probably fine.
Exactly right. So now I've turned it on. Now what I can do is I can go down and I can start a game. In this instance, I'm going to go to Minecraft.
Good old Minecraft.
One of the best
And then if
games
I hit
ever made.
Windows G, you can see here, there's a settings area, and I can go up to turn game mode on. So what I've done is at the Windows system level, I've said, give me the option to turn game mode on for every game that I might want to play. And by the way, this works for both UWP and Win32 titles. It's not just UWP games.
Nice.
So games you got on Steam or Origin or
anything.
works for all of those. Then what happens is when I start the game, I go up and I say, you know what? I want to turn game mode on for this game. And that's a persistent state. Now forever, when I come back to Minecraft, that's going to be on and I'm going to be able to play the game with game mode.
Now, by default, though, it will work with anything that is running game-wise, right? Or do you have to actually do that for each game?
You do that for every game.
Okay.
And again, like some people think, well, why would I do it for every game? It's really this spirit of, with PC gamers, there's a lot of, they want to be able to customize the experience for themselves. So we let them make the election. And then once they do, it's forever until they turn it off.
Okay.
Nice. So this is the game bar. What are some of the other features within game bar?
Well, within game bar, you see you guys like probably passionate about broadcast.
Yeah.
We brought that right into the shell. What's really great about this era of Windows gaming is that we're doing so much to actually make Windows better for gaming. We've always had investments with things like DX12. Way back, people remember Age of Empires. We started as a PC gaming company before there even was a console. But now we've come back to our roots and we're saying, hey, Windows can actually do more for PC gamers. So in the what we call the shell, like the experience at the OS level, we've integrated things like game mode, things like broadcasting with Mixer, things like being able to take a game DVR clip or a screenshot. And so you don't have to boot additional software and take additional CPU cycles. It's just right in the OS.
And I love just how quick and easy that overlay is. Because every time I've used it, I was like, oh yeah, it's like Windows G, right? Boom, and it just happens.
And folks should expect, because we've continued to do this, we will build additional features successively into that experience. So the OS will keep growing with Game Bar as that sort of beachhead for additional features for Windows that are right part of the platform.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, I love it. I love how simple it is, too.
Yeah, 100% WinG. So let's talk about E3, which is 2 weeks ago now. It seems like it was just yesterday, but it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's take a shift. We talk about PC games. What are some of the games that were highlighted that you are looking forward to?
Well,
so many.
See, my bias is PC gaming. So the games are awesome, and was a big fan of the Age of Empires announcement.
Yes.
And, but my big takeaway from E3 was how many PC OEMs actually made news there. As an example, Alienware announced a refresh to their Alienware 51. Like if you know what, that's their iconic big rig. And they've announced new CPUs in there that have as many as 18 cores. Like gamers who care about frame rate and stuff, like this is off the charts like territory.
Yeah.
So they announced refreshes there. They a branded line of peripherals for Alienware. So what's happening is that E3, which has been a console show, which is awesome because we're in the console business, is now increasingly a PC show. And so for me, I got to go around and talk to all of these big, huge PC OEMs who are bringing all of this fantastic hardware that leverages our operating system.
That's
Love
awesome.
that. Perfect marriage of hardware and software.
Yes.
That's right. But if you want to know, like my favorite PC game is the Diablo franchise.
Oh, there you
Ooh.
go. And
Thank
by the
you.
way, have you played Victor Vran?
I have.
It's real good.
It is
I
good.
keep telling people it's really, really good.
Yeah.
There's a Motorhead DLC for it. It's on Xbox One. Check it out.
Check it out.
Lemmy.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Oh,
Like, rest
Motorhead. You like metal,
rest
I
in
heard.
peace. I'm
A
a
little
metal
birdie
singer.
told me. Oh, you're a singer?
Yes.
What's
yes.
the? Can you say the band name?
Fifth Angel?
Fifth
I sing
Angel.
for
That
Fifth
is
Angel.
heavy duty, dude.
I like.
I automatically had to do this.
Yeah.
I was like, Fifth Angel's the name of your band?
Yeah, I was just in Germany singing some big metal festivals over there.
Oh my
about 6
goodness! You
weeks
should
ago.
do a live performance on the show. That wouldn't be weird.
Have me back and we'll do
Okay.
something.
Oh, a live performance on. I
I'm
love
just
that.
saying.
I love that.
And also, before we let you go, I heard another tip, or a little birdie told me that you write fantasy novels.
I do. I'm published by Tor Books in New York. I have an epic fantasy series. It's been blurbed by greats like Brandon Sanderson. People know Brandon Sanderson. So if they like epic fantasy, they can pick my stuff up at
Cool.
Barnes and Noble or
So
whatever.
Windows, music, and writing.
We're doing it all
How
here,
do
people.
you have any spare time?
5-hour energy.
Oh my!
I should get an endorsement
Wow.
for them. I drink
Yeah.
that like crazy.
Oh, you just said it on air. So
There you go.
Thanks,
Yes.
Peter, for sharing your thoughts and
You bet.
learning us about Windows Game 10 mode. Thank you
right.
so much, sir.
I'm out.
Ah, thank you so much.
All right, you're leaving.
Yep.
Rock.
Peace
You're
out.
gonna rock out Fifth Angel style. Fifth Angel, right? I got it right.
Fifth Angel.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. Now, do you have?
It's
some-
your turn. No,
Oh, it's my
no,
turn.
yeah.
All right. So one thing that is super important at Microsoft is making sure that gaming is fun and accessible for everyone.
Yes.
So last week I learned more about ease of access on Xbox One.
Ooh,
So let's take a look.
let's take a look.
All right, we are here with Evelyn and Bryce from the accessibilities team. How are you all doing today?
Great.
Good. Awesome. All right, so let's talk about some ease of access features. But actually, before we do that, let's get some background on you two. What do you do at Xbox? What do you do here?
So I'm a program manager on Xbox, and my primary role is accessibility, making
Nice.
sure that we build a product for people with disabilities.
I love that.
And I'm on the Xbox design team, and I focus on inclusive design.
Fantastic. I love that. So ease of access settings, what are they on Xbox One? Just high level.
Well, we've got a whole suite of accessibility features that make it easier for people to use our product. We have features that help people with low or no vision, people with limited hearing, people who are nonverbal, and a variety of other features that make it much easier for people with disabilities to use Xbox.
Nice. Making gaming for everyone. Just like your shirt says.
Just like the
What are the
shirt.
chances? What are the chances? Cool. So before we actually get into the actual features and ease of access, let's talk about the development process. Before you even identify you want to make a certain feature, how do you go about that entire process?
So we start with the community. We actively go out and sort of engage gamers with disabilities and ask them what they want and what they're kind of into, what they need. And then we bring those features back into our pipeline where we try to put them into development.
Nice.
And then I work with the feature teams to make sure that we're building the products that are usable for our users. And then we actually bring people onto our Microsoft campus,
Ooh,
into
cool.
our user research team, and have them walk through these features and make sure that they're actually usable.
Ah,
We also leverage
awesome.
the Insider program as well, where we have people that are part of the early program and give us feedback as we're developing.
insiders are so valuable
They
to
are.
Xbox. I love it. All right, so let's dive right in. Let's talk about a few of these. Let's begin with high contrast. What is the high contrast ease of access feature?
So high contrast is for, it's a way to make the UI more readable for people with low vision. Increasing contrast just makes things easier to read. And so Evelyn's going to turn on the setting. We basically follow what Windows does for high contrast, except we have a slightly unique take on it from Xbox's point of view, because we have a linear focus model, whereas Windows has basically a cursor, a mouse.
Sure.
So for us, that focus state that's blue right now is really important. We want to make sure that there's only one of those on the screen so that if you're a low vision user,
You can see it.
you can see it. Where it's
Yeah.
blue is basically where you're at.
I love that. Let's talk about the magnifier feature.
Yeah.
What exactly is the magnifier feature? It sounds self-explanatory, but let's see if we're right.
It kind of is. It's exactly that.
Yeah.
It helps people that are low vision, make it easier for them to actually see the UI. So sometimes, I'm sure you've experienced this when you're sitting in your living room, you're 10 feet away from your TV and the text is pretty small.
Yeah.
Imagine if your vision was not as good as yours is.
Be a
and
bit harder.
It'd be much harder.
Yeah.
So we've added this feature to make it possible for people to make the screen bigger, easier to see. So you
Awesome.
can turn it on through the ease of access section that we were showing before, or there's a shortcut.
You hit the guide button and hit the menu button.
Exactly.
All right, so how do you control the magnifier? How do you zoom in, zoom out, move around the screen?
So it's very easy. You can use the triggers to
To
zoom in,
zoom in?
and you can use the right stick to pan around the UI.
All right, so let's move on to narrator, right? And so I used to work on Xbox support on Twitter, and a lot of the tweets that we get about narrator are like, my Xbox is speaking to me. What is happening right now? So let's settle this once and for all. What is the voice that they are hearing?
Well, narrator is mostly used by those who are blind, but it's also used by those who are low vision. And it basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. It narrates the UI.
Everything on screen, right?
Yep. So if you can't see your screen, you can hear it. We actually have blind users that use Xbox with just the controller and a headset, and they're sitting in different rooms. They're not even anywhere near their TV.
That's so amazing. That's so amazing. That is fascinating. So let's test it out here.
So just like many of the other ease of access features, you go into the settings app, and at the bottom is the ease of access section, and narrator is there. And you can turn it on via this checkbox.
Nice.
But very similar to magnifier, you could also press and hold the guide button and hit the menu button, and you'll be able to turn on narrator from anywhere within the UI.
That's amazing.
In addition to that, there's some settings that make it more customizable for people that want different voices or want different speeds or pitch for those voices as well.
Nice. So it's really all out, all the different settings, the way you can adjust it. That's awesome. All right, so the narrator, can we use it in other apps?
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and go to My Games and Apps.
Achievements tab, 2 of 9. Select Messages tab, Guide tab, Home button, Games and Apps button, My Games and Apps, Movies and TV.
And let's go ahead and launch Movies and TV.
Nice. And you even hear it calling out what number of the app you're on. And that's awesome.
From $14.99, 2 of 25. Movies and TV, Trailers button.
Nice. And it just shows you and speaks everything to you. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I love that. So if gamers want to submit feedback, they can go to feedback.xbox.com, right? That's where you go to submit feedback on anything on Xbox. But of course, there's a specific section for ease of access.
We have a specific section for ease of access settings, so please go there and submit your feedback. It's pretty active.
Yeah, I
And
love
we use that to build better products.
Build better products. That's what it's all about. Xbox. All right. Thank you so much, Evelyn and Bryce, for stopping by to show us these awesome features. Back to the live show.
All right. So I earlier said slippery frame rate. I meant smooth frame rate. But because I did, now it's a hashtag.
It's a hashtag.
Thanks, Ding-a-ling in the chat. It's hashtag slippery frame rate, and it gets a horn.
All right, live show. Speaking of which, you have your questions in the chat, and we figured we'd answer a few of them.
Yes.
D-Showtime718 asks, can you add USB mic support, Xbox? I'm used to it from my PS4. And I think somebody got to it in chat, but if any of you have feature requests, be sure to go to feedback.xbox.com. It's an awesome site that allows you to submit feedback, and
do that.
Xbox takes a look at it.
But boom, interactivity on this show. All right, now is the time for our next segment. We're going to be using the magic of Skype, which is literally real magic, to connect with Kerminator. Let's try it over here. Boom, he's here. There it is.
Hey!
It worked.
All right.
Can you see us? You can see us, and we can see you.
Everybody? Yeah, I can see you. Yep. I can see you guys. You can see me. We're good.
Whoa, it's a magical moment right now.
So magical.
It's working.
Yeah.
So the first thing I need to ask is the elephant in the room, but actually it's the frog in the room. What's up with the name? Whoa, someone liked that joke.
Point.
Kermit, obviously Kerminator, frogs. You have dancing frogs in your show. What's going on with that? How'd they come up with that?
It's my real name. It's a family name. Not Kerminator, but Kermit is my real name. So, not to reveal too much on the internet, but there it
We
is.
don't want to do that.
This is where you reveal it on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's that's where it came from. And actually, it's a funny story that I can tell quickly. I was at Thanksgiving, like this was probably 10 years ago or more, with one of my buddies. This was before I was married, and his little brother was like dead-eye stared at me across the table and was like, "You from this point forward shall be known as only Kerminator."
Whoa!
And that's what it was for. And I was like, okay.
And you're like,
that's simple.
Yeah, you're like, that is what shall happen.
I love
that.
that.
So I made it my gamer tag soon after that, and then it was only natural to have it be my name here in the streaming world as well. So
that's crazy. That's very epic. That's an epic and true way to start a name.
I love that. So we have Kermit, we have Frog. Now we got raided earlier, and it was a pond raid. What's going on with the pod? What is the pond?
The pond is basically the community. We kind of like started with, when you start out streaming, you're kind of like looking for like the audience that you want and the community that you want. And it was just kind of natural to start with the frog theme, and then it kind of morphed into that. Like, okay, well, frogs hang out in ponds, so why don't we call our community the pond? And that's really become the place for just everyone to come hang out. You know, it's more for me about the pond than it is about Kerminator. When it comes down to it, it's about hanging out with friends every day. So the pond has always been just a place that everyone can feel welcome and can come to without judgment and have a good time.
I love it. And we hear that
That's
a
great.
lot when it comes to streamers. You know, like this whole idea of community. We talked to Altesta last
Yeah.
time and said the same type of thing. And I love that. That's great to have a safe place. We all hang out and have a good time. On lily pads. No.
On lily
On
pads.
lily pads, yes. You guys have done your research.
Oh,
this.
we do a little bit of research.
We were watching
here.
you before the show. I think the frog dancing is the most hilarious thing ever. I was mimicking the frog's dance.
Oh,
moves.
can you do the frog dance now?
I can't.
For us, Malik,
well,
right
no,
now?
I don't think they pay
Do
me
it
enough
for
for that.
Kerminator, come
sir.
on.
I don't get paid enough for that. So maybe on the
right,
next
fine.
show. All right, so let's get into the tips of this kind of segment. 'Cause
Tips.
you're an established streamer. What would be some of the technical suggestions that you could offer to somebody who's looking to get into broadcasting?
Oh man, the thing is like it's not that easy, and you have to really find a lot out on your own. And before I found out about this platform, when I streamed like kind of off and on Twitch, I never really found like people that were willing to be helpful. So I think the biggest advice that I could give to you is don't like just go into someone's stream and be like, hey, help me with this stuff, but get to know someone. And almost everyone on this platform is going to be willing to help you out, or they at least know someone in their community that knows how to help people out. And so for me, like Topic Tech, who is a partner here on Mixer, early on when I started on the platform, he was really helpful. He does a stream every Tuesday where he does tech tips. And that was really helpful. Just watching those streams, I would delay the start of my stream just to watch him do those streams, and I would learn that way. And then I would also see other cool things that people were doing and people that I knew on the platform that I made friendships with, and I just reached out to them. I think that's the biggest thing is reach out to people, but do it in the right way, but don't also be afraid to reach out to people too. As long as you're doing it the right way and you're doing it from the right place and you have like a friendly intent, people are going to be willing to help you out.
Yeah, it's good advice. And also, I think it's the key back to the community thing where you're becoming friends with these people. You want to talk to them as people, and you're not just being like, hey, help me figure this thing out so I can get views. It's more about the community.
Just
part of
helping
it.
the community.
Yeah. And then also, I would say that, just almost every stream is a little different, right? Streamers do things differently. You have dancing frogs. Other people do different things. And the setups, even the technical wise, I think are going to vary. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much variation, and I think that the industry is still pretty new overall. So there's always something new coming out, or they're adding mixer support to it. So it's kind of like a constant learning process. Like you can talk to some people that used to watch me way back when on my Twitch days when I didn't even have all this equipment that I have now, and it literally was just like me sitting on my couch with my PlayStation camera, and that was it. And I've come a long way. So I encourage you to start small and just work your way up, and it'll happen eventually. Is the feeling that I have about it.
Totally. And as you heard in the chat, or everybody in the chat room, someone was hitting sounds, and we're having this interactivity right now in our show. It's a great part of Mixer. And what's some of the stuff that you do that's interactive on your shows?
Oh man. So I have some buttons, obviously, for sounds. I have a dance party button that people can spin sparks on, and it basically fires an event where I do this whole dance party. You'll have to check it out to see it for yourself, but I do that, and then every time I get rated, I do a little dance party thing too. That's a little bit different of a scene. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing with interactive. We have played games in the past too that took advantage of the interactive controls. There's a game called Reigns, where you basically there's a game called Reigns. It's basically like video game Tinder, even if you know what that is. You're like swiping left and right.
Oh, this got awkward all of a sudden, maybe.
Or good.
Or good.
It's like kill this guy or spare him, basically. You have to make decisions like that. So it's really easy to set up with interactive. You have to have the left and right arrow keys, and that's it. And then people in chat can basically play it. We did that for like a couple of weeks where I literally just wasn't playing games. They were just doing that and, and playing games.
Cool.
Awesome. So now we have a setup here. We're two guys on this stream, and we have a nice little studio. What are some of the interactive things that maybe we can do? We'd love some suggestions from.
What should we do?
Established
interactive wise.
Man, some interactive things that you guys could do.
Yeah.
I think a dance button for Malik is a good idea.
I think that's a great idea.
Oh,
let's instigate it now.
Actually,
anymore. Like,
I know. I love dancing. I love dancing. So maybe.
Maybe. Okay, that's a maybe. Thank you for that.
That's a maybe.
Before we let you go, I have a question. I did some more journalism,
Oh.
which is exactly how you say it. You do some more journalism. And it seemed like you were a sports broadcaster at some point, or still are?
Still am, yeah.
Okay.
I still am. I'm announcing for a university soccer team at the moment.
Does
and
that
I've done
help?
some other stuff in the past.
Does that help with like commentating on stuff like that, like on games, or do you get a little bit of?
I
Something from
think
that?
so. Like, I think that always like background, the more experience you have, the more comfortable you're going to be doing stuff. I've been in radio and I've done sports announcing and things like that. So I think that for me, coming to streaming was really natural because I've always had a passion for broadcasting and I've wanted to do so many things, and streaming and being on Mixer, it allows you to kind of get out of your comfort zone, like force yourself to learn new things and force yourself to do more creative things, but it's all up to you. You know, like every other job I've had in the past, it's like, we need you to do this, we need you to talk about this sponsor. On Mixer, it's just about creating the content that you really are passionate about. And so that's really what it's been for me. So yeah, the experience definitely helps, but it's also a great place to just get started in broadcasting too, because anyone can do it, which is the beauty of it.
I actually went to school for journalism. Fun fact, because I
Journalism.
said the journalism word,
Yeah.
and I did a radio station, and that was the first kind of this is throwing yourself out there, and you're live, and
Yeah.
you've got
And I mean,
I did a whole radio station, just me. It's called
Just him.
Carlos.
Oh, wow, that's
and even separate from, and even separate from like just, I guess if you're nervous, I get nervous sometimes. I get
You
shy.
might. He
Yeah.
gets
So
nervous.
streaming and broadcasting is a great way to kind of overcome that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is actually awesome.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Our last question is, what are some tips to basically run a stream and get traction with the community? I mean, we talked about basically talking to the people, actually being real with people, but there aren't any other tips about like, gaining followers and having your show kind of get out there more?
I think that the thing that people really forget is the way to network properly, and that is really important when you're getting going, and when it's important all the time. It's still important for me to this day, but when you're really getting started and no one knows who you are, you want to go out and you want to watch other streams too. Like, I think that especially on Mixer, people appreciate when they see a streamer that is also active in the community when they're not live. And I know that you only have so much time in a day, but find the time, spend some time in other people's streams, start to find streamers that maybe you feel like you have something in common with or that you could get along with, and then just start to network. But don't go in their streams and just say, hey, shout me out. No, get to know them first. Like, show them that you appreciate their content first. That's the most important thing. And then I think most everyone on Mixer is willing to kind of pay it forward, and they'll have your back when the moment comes when you need help. So yeah, that's I think the biggest thing is networking and be consistent. I saw Luckland for the win in here. He told me that advice back in January. I was like a week into being partner, and my streams were kind of all over the place, because when you're pushing for partner, you're trying to stream just as much as possible. But the biggest thing is just be consistent as much as possible. Let people know that you're going live at this time, and then unless you're sick or something, be there. Like, don't let them down.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
them down.
Consistency is important, and also that was a great advice about the networking. So
Yeah.
Kerminator, we want to thank you so much for being here. We're glad the magic of Skype worked,
Yeah.
and everything worked awesome. So
Thank you for
thank you for being here, and you shall always be the Kerminator.
Yes, thank you.
Always.
Thank you for having me on the show. This was great.
Oh yeah, and thank you for the
Really
raid. Thank you to the pond.
Thank you to the pond out there.
Yeah, the pond are lovely people. They're awesome.
Oh, that was our first raid. So yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for that. All right.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
It's weird.
Going down in history.
Oh yeah. All right, Kerminator. We'll see you later. I'll have you back on the show sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kerminator.
Have a great day.
Whoa, someone's really loud all of a sudden.
Kerminator.
Before we go, I think we're going to say that this is now a thing. Oh, I said, this is, you know how people dab?
Yeah,
I can't.
I actually do, because we saw.
We taught on the This Week in Esports, right? So we're going to make, instead of dabbing, we're going to do this as a mixing. So
I
you
do this all the time.
Mix.
Just mixing.
It's like a dab.
Somewhat.
Also, I heard that This Week in Esports thinks that they might be the top show on Mixer. All I have to say is,
Nice.
bam!
Nice
Come
try.
on. Give me my close-up. There it is.
There it is. Nice try.
I
See,
bought that shirt just for that bit.
just for the bit. He's gonna return it tomorrow.
I really am going to keep this shirt.
Oh, you're gonna keep it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
perfect.
$12.
Yeah, and unlike that show, we stand up because we We're not.
Oh,
we're
we
not lazy.
stand up.
We're not
Dang, that was
lazy.
even more.
I think that was
than my
It's
shirt.
all in good fun. I'm joking. We love
Is
this
it?
week in esports.
All right.
Yeah, Anyway, yeah. So be sure to check out our next episode of Tips and Tricks on July 11th,
Right.
and every Tuesday after that at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern.
We'll be right here on Mixer.com/channel1.
Yeah.
Nice try, esports.
Nice try.